before Godzilla King of the Monsters was even close to coming out to release, I did a video ranking which monster would stand out the most in Godzilla King of the Monsters, and I thought I'd do a response video because obviously when the movie played out, my list ended up being very different than what I predicted. I had originally said the monsters that were going to stand out in the right order: King Ghidorah would stand out the most, then Godzilla, then Rodan, and then Mothra. After watching the movie a few times and thinking about it, my list really did change a lot. And also, starting out the list of which monsters stood out the most to me, there were 3 new monsters we saw on screen. And at the bottom would have to be Methuselah, just because of the little screen time we really got of him. There was really little to no screen time of him actually on screen. Seeing images of him, he looks extremely cool. Just the design and that he's a giant mountain is just awesome, but just with the little screen time, he really did stand out the least. And then Scylla is the next. That stood out a little bit more. I did like the design, like a giant spider, and we did get to see a little footage of him, but not much at all. And then going up the list would next be Behemoth, who I think had the most screen time out of the kaijus being brought out of the ground by King Ghidorah. I really did like the design of Behemoth, and how it's like a mammoth type sloth gorilla thing, and I really did like the design and how he looked and the scenes we got of the Behemoth for sure. But then getting into the big 4, at number 4 would have to be Rodan, who I originally had higher. I feel that he had some awesome scenes for sure. The airplane scene was definitely awesome with them taking out all the jets, but I just feel that when ranking these, in no way am I saying I didn't like Rodan or he didn't stand out a lot. He just went lower on the list compared to the other kaijus. Next on the list is King Ghidorah, who I originally had standing out the most. I really did think that he was going to stand out the most. I still loved King Ghidorah in this film. He was definitely awesome, had so many scenes. I loved how the hurricane just followed him, and I thought that was totally epic. But King Ghidorah is definitely next on the list for who stood out the most. At number 2 is Mothra. Mothra is one who was at my number 4 spot when I originally made the list for kaijus who I thought I was going to like and who was going to stand out the most. And Mothra, going into the film, I really had no anticipation for Mothra. I was going to give every character a chance, but coming out of the theater, I absolutely loved Mothra. I thought Mothra is such a great character. The way that Mothra was able to battle totally blew my expectations out of the water, being able to do the damage it did to King Ghidorah. And even the beginning scene with Mothra in its larva stage was such a great scene. But the way that Mothra was able to stand up to Godzilla and sacrifice herself just to stand up for Godzilla was just absolutely epic, and I really loved Mothra in this film. Definitely jumped way higher than what I thought was going to be. And at number 1 is Godzilla, which I really did not think Godzilla was going to stand out the most in this film because we had already got him in the last one, and I really did not think Godzilla was going to stand out over the new kaijus, but mainly because something that really put him over the top as far as one who stood out the most was really the fire burning Godzilla at the end. That's really what pushed it over the top. Obviously, Godzilla has so many awesome scenes throughout this movie. The scenes underwater were just crazy. That's something we've never seen before. And definitely the fire burning Godzilla at the end is something that put it way over the top. Just when he comes in, everything starts melting and comes in and just absolutely destroys King Ghidorah in that fight. Obviously, there's other great fights throughout the movie, but Godzilla with the fire-burning Godzilla really just put it over the top, and him obviously standing over all the other kaijus was just epic, and that was a great way to end it, and Godzilla did end up standing out the most. But make sure you let me know down below who you think stood out the most. I know the movie's been out for a couple weeks, but I thought I'd do a response video to that because my list changed a lot from what I thought before and after. But make sure you let me know down below who you thought stood out the most, and let me know if you agree with me, and thanks for watching.